Get Real is made for kids by the people at Wisconsin Public Television and the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Major funding for Get Real is provided by the National Science Foundation, supporting education and research in science, mathematics, and technology, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television. With special thanks to this station, supporting excellence in children's programming.
This is Get Real, and this is your show.
Get Real has landed. This is the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, Illinois. The toughest part of this museum is showing you everything, but here's a quick look. This is one of the biggest science museums in the United States.
Now wait a minute.
It has some great stuff.
But first, let's step on the gas and take a look at today's show. See how one kid likes to fly the coop.
Watch how these kids grow cranberries.
And find out what this talented violinist does in her spare time. Those stories are coming up in just a while. But first, let's check this out. It's called the Ring Roller Reducer, and it was made in the 1950s. After you step in this thing, the ring rollers massage your body and roll away the fat.
This was a good way to lose weight?
Maybe they should have taken up a sport.
Like hockey.
Yeah, we met a kid who loves hockey, but he doesn't play it, he's a ref.
Check out Nick Luther from Madison, Wisconsin.
My name is Nick Luther, and I've been officiating hockey for 3 years. I used to play hockey for 3 or 4 years, or 4 or 5, and then the doctors found out that something was wrong with my kidney, so they had to take my kidney out, and they said I couldn't play any contact sports. I wanted to stay with the game, so I became a ref. Time out! My dad got me into it, and I kind of liked it, and so I kept going. It was kind of tough when I found out I couldn't play, but I just had to keep going and be positive, and everyone was real supportive. I'd have to say my coaches helped me a lot, my parents. My parents were probably the best to help me. The most fun thing about refereeing hockey is probably just like staying in the game. When you're refereeing, there are 6 basic things to remember. There are the 3 A's: attitude, awareness, and appearance. And 3 P's: players, puck, and position. So basically, what this means is you gotta keep your head in the game, keep your eye on the puck, and stay out of the play of the puck. It's fun. You can give other kids penalties, you can give coaches penalties. It's hard to stay focused in the game because all of the fans and coaches are pounding and yelling at you and yelling at the players.
Get it out of there!
And you can't really hear and concentrate.
Drop the puck, Rob!
You just gotta try hard. The coaches give me more trouble than the players do. The problem with some coaches is they don't know the rules.
Rob!
That's one real important thing about being a ref. You have to know the rules. I had to give a coach a bench minor because he was just yelling at me.
Don't hold back.
The worst thing that happened to me was the last game that I reffed, and I got checked into the boards.
What do you do in a situation like this? Get tough.
Someday I'd love to ref professional hockey. And I know I can do it if I put my mind to it.
This is the world-famous 999.
Go, 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 go.
It was the fastest vehicle built during the 1890s. It went over 100 miles an hour. Although it's not a big deal today,
It was a big deal then. If this train could still move, it would make a lot of pit stops, like this one.
Today's pit stop is cruising. Years ago, there were tons of car ferries crossing each of the Great Lakes. And for a long time, they carried train cars across the lakes. But these days, there's only one ferry left, and it crosses only one of the Great Lakes. Any idea where to find its home port? The ship is called the SS Badger, and it sails across Lake Michigan. The distance from shore to shore is 60 miles, and the trip takes about 4 hours. People traveling from Michigan to Wisconsin like taking the ferry because it cuts out a lot of time in the car. On board, there are restaurants, video arcades, even a place to watch movies. Do you know where the SS Badger's home port is? Don't send out an SOS. We'll float you some hints later in the show.
When astronauts go into space, they eat food just like what you and I eat. But they also eat food that looks like this.
It's freeze-dried, so all you have to do is add water. Freeze-dried food works so well in space that what was once space food has now become camping food.
All this talk about food reminds me of our next story. It's about cranberries.
Wisconsin is one of the leading cranberry producers in the United States, and 2 kids from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, help their families grow them.
Can you guess what Wisconsin's #1 fruit crop is? It's cranberries. Cranberries don't really grow in water. Cranberries grow in dry ground. We flood the beds so that we can harvest them. See, they float. Once they float to the surface, we can just scoop them up. We either harvest by hand or by machine. There's 2 different types of harvesting. Fresh fruit is what we do here, and juice. When you harvest fresh fruit, you have to be more gentle on the berries. Once the cranberries are picked, they're put in tubs like this.
Okay, Tyler, let's get the boat in the right spot.
Okay.
Okay, get that underneath the edge.
There you go.
Okay, you want to come pull the handle?
Cranberries are all different colors. You can have white, green, pink, and red. Even though they're different colors when we pick them, they'll all turn red by the time we pack them.
My name is Steve Brown, and we grow cranberries too. On our marsh, our cranberries are harvested for juice. Harvesting for juice is a little bit different than harvesting for fresh fruit because we use beaters to knock the berries off of the vines. The berries float to the top of the surface because they have air bubbles in them. Once the berries are floating on the surface, we then corral them into this yellow thing, which then we put an elevator in, and the elevator takes them up to the truck. The berries, which came down from the truck, are going into the hopper, and then the conveyor belt is taking them up into the degrasser machine. The degrasser takes out all the grasses and leaves that came in with the berries on the truck. Then they are sent to this pond right here. From the pond, the berries are then pushed up the elevator into what we call the key building. And what the key building is, it fine-tunes the cleanliness of the berries. Then they go into 1,000-pound totes and are shipped out to a freezer for processing. No matter who grows them or how they're harvested, my favorite way to eat them is still right off the vine.
To learn more about how cranberries are grown, get this book. It's Cranberries, Fruit of the Bogs, and it's written by Diane Burns. If you're not hungry when you start this book, you will be by the time you reach the end, so check it out.
This used to be a pile of metal.
Now it's a mechanical horse.
It was built out of leftovers. Talk about recycling.
Maybe you can try something like this at home.
Or send us your recycling ideas. Our address will come up later in the show.
Recycling can help cut down on pollution.
Right now, let's go to Verona, Wisconsin, and see what kids there think about pollution.
This question comes from Amy Roth of Lake Mills, Wisconsin.
Here are the opinions from some kids at the Caring Center.
Well, they shouldn't pollute themselves, and they should recycle whatever is possible, especially glass, because that doesn't decompose.
Don't smoke and pollute the air. Kids could start a club not to pollute the earth.
Well, when we're on a walk or riding your bike, you can bring a bag along and put trash in it that you find on the trails.
If people throw trash around, all kinds of animals can get hurt from it.
Don't throw trash in the hallways and stuff.
Ride your bike instead of riding in a car. If you pollute and it gets in the water, fish might die and turtles. You could have fundraisers to help save the rainforest.
Have kids take newspaper and bring it into the recycling people.
Don't pollute.
That's what we think! Those are some pretty good ideas.
Right now, let's check out another cool thing at the museum.
This is the film projector for the OmniMax Theater at the museum's Henry Crown Space Center. The OmniMax is a huge theater with a picture that's 5 stories high. This is so incredible, I wish I had one in my room.
Right now, a film about how special effects are done is playing at the OmniMax Theater.
This is the special effect.
And this.
And this. This has nothing to do with our next story, but we knew you'd like it. Right now, let's meet Logan Alexander.
He doesn't have a dog, a cat, or a gerbil for a pet. He raises pigeons, and he does it in Viola, Wisconsin.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird.
Welcome to the Squab Hilton. Let's go see my birds. A squab is a little baby pigeon. I've been working with pigeons since I was in 2nd grade. I gotcha. Got you. Ooh. I take care of them for 6 days a week. My grandpa, well, he's in a wheelchair, but he can't reach down there as far as he wants to, and he can't do as much as he wants to do the birds. My grandpa really depends on what I do and the way I do things.
All fancy pigeons go back to the rock dove, a rock pigeon, which is like the common wild bird.
I won my first award when I was 9 years old. I've got 7 trophies, a plaque, and 4 ribbons. This bird is special because he won so many shows, and this year he hasn't been doing as good as he did last year, but he's still one of my best birds. Judges look for the legs, if they're up like they're supposed to be, and their head setting, This is what they like to eat. It's like a mixture of corn, grains. Sometimes they call it like pigeon candy. This is a scraper. I bet you'll never guess what this is for. I'm on the poop patrol. Because pigeons aren't just potty trained like cats and dogs. They poop wherever they want to go. So we have to scrape it off. This is a little baby that just hatched today. Weighs about the same as a handful of M&Ms. All of these pigeons have different colors and different personalities. The one with the crest is the helmet, and the one with the big tail is the fantail. And the fantail holds the stomach up, and the helmet holds the stomach down. It's a big responsibility and all, but I really like the job, and it's fun, and I get to spend more time with my grandpa.
Have you figured out where the home port of the SS Badger is, or have you missed the boat? This steam-powered ferry sails across Lake Michigan.
Hey, get real. Let's cruise.
The ferry's average speed is about 15 knots. That's sailor talk for 17 miles an hour. Can you figure out why people would rather sail between Michigan and Wisconsin instead of drive? I thought you could. Remember, the home port is either in Michigan or Wisconsin. So is it in Ludington, Michigan, Holland, Michigan, or Racine, Wisconsin? These places are all on the shore of Lake Michigan, but only one is home to the SS Badger car ferry. Stay tuned. The answer is coming your way in just a moment.
Making great music isn't easy. But with hard work and a lot of practice, the girl in our next story makes it look easy. Dina Lee is a great violin player, and she's from Barrington, Illinois.
Wait a minute, that music's cool, but for this story, I'm making my own. Hi, I'm Dina Lee. I'm 12 years old, and I've been playing the violin since I was 6.
Well, 6 years old actually is not very young. We start them at the age of 2.5 and 3.
I started playing the piano when I was in preschool, and I saw the violin, and my mom called the institute, the Violin Institute. And I was like begging her, I was like, please, Mom, ask for the violin. Between the violin and the piano, I practiced 4 hours a day. It makes it hard to talk on the phone with my friends. Hi, Charlene. How's your tennis lesson? After I come back from school, I do a little homework, and then I practice for a while, take a break, eat dinner, practice some more, and finish my homework. The songs we hear on the radio usually last 3 or 4 minutes. The pieces that I play can last up to 20 minutes long. It takes me a while to learn a piece. There are stages. The first one is where you have to learn the notes. The second stage is basically playing through, and then the third one is just polishing it up. The difference between a piece and a song, it's really easy. You just think of music that you listen to on the radio, and that's a song because it has lyrics. And then a piece is just a bunch of notes that add up together. I play music by Bach and Beethoven, but listen to Live, Blues Traveler, and the Chili Peppers. Magical Strings of Youth are a performing group made up of kids.
These children are a select group of children, of violinists who have traveled with me all over the world.
I played in Russia. That was my first place that I traveled to. And then we went to Beijing 2 summers ago, and then I went to the White House to play for the president over the winter. It was really fun playing for the president, and I got to meet his daughter. I wasn't really that intimidated after I started playing a couple pieces, but I had a lot of fun. I do get nervous sometimes, but I've learned to deal with it. There's no reason to get nervous because you've worked as hard as you can, and this is your best performance. I love to teach because you just pass on all the information that you learn. Good. Now, if you teach, you're more of an overall player. I think I'm really lucky to be able to travel all over the place. My favorite part about playing the violin is the performing part. This is what you've produced out of how many ever months you practiced.
Let's make some waves.
Whoa, look at all these sounds. The low notes from the cello made these big waves. The high notes from the violin made these waves which are close together.
Wait a minute, you can't see sounds?
The air around us is made up of millions of tiny molecules that we can't see, right?
Right. And when I talk, my voice bumps into the molecules next to my mouth, and they bump the ones next to them. And it keeps going till the molecules next to my ear get bumped, and I hear what you're saying. It's like the waves you make when you throw a pebble in a pond. If you throw a pebble, it makes little waves that go up from where it hit until they die out or hit the shore.
And if you throw a big rock, it makes bigger waves.
It's sort of like the difference between high sounds and low sounds.
High sounds like this make waves that are close together. Low sounds like this make waves that are further apart.
And a small sound like this, beep, doesn't move the molecules very much or very far. But a loud sound like this moves them much further away.
So to make a sound loud, you have to be able to move enough air molecules.
Yeah. Andy, where's that cello?
Here it is. And look, this part of the cello does more than just hold the strings in place. Watch when Dina plays. When she moves the bow across the strings, they start to vibrate.
That means they move back and forth.
That makes this thing called the bridge vibrate, which makes this part of the violin vibrate, which moves the air molecules enough so we can hear the note. There are lots of books in the library that teach you how to make all kinds of cool instruments.
If you think watching chicken eggs hatch isn't fun, or virtual reality is dumb, or plants are boring, then you better find a better kid show. Because up next is a kid who does just that. David Honig grows plants, but not ordinary plants. They're carnivorous. David finds them in the bogs surrounding Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
Hi, my name is David Honig, and I live in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and I'm 10 years old. I was about 7 years old when I bought a fly trap. I just got real interested in it. Flowers can be kind of boring, but carnivorous plants actually catch and digest insects, so that's pretty neat.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Just eat it, eat it. Open up your mouth and feed it.
The most fascinating thing I find that I like about carnivorous plants is how they catch and digest insects. It's fun to watch. What happens is when an insect lands and it closes, what it does is slowly compress it tightly, and then digestive enzymes flow in and make the soft parts turn to a liquid like juice or something that we drink, and it gets soaked into the leaf. What carnivorous plants need is moist soil. We're in a bog on the Almond Recreational Trail. There are thousands of different species of carnivorous plants. This is a Sarracenia purpurea, SSP purpurea. Its common name is the purple pitcher plant. It's native to the upper portions of Wisconsin. I really like this plant because it has strange shaped leaves that are like vases filled with water, and the insides are slippery. It's the nitrogen in the insects that the that carnivorous plants need to stay alive because there's no nitrogen or minerals in the soil that they live in. I guess you could call insects little vitamin tablets. The Venus flytrap, once its prey is in its leaf and the trigger hairs are touched, it can close in less than a second. That's pretty fast for a plant. This is the trap we fed this morning, and it's going to remain closed for about a week, digesting its prey. Then it'll open up, and the exoskeleton, that's the outer shell on the insect, will be left. I've been studying carnivorous plants for about 3 years, but they're very exotic sometimes and real interesting to watch.
Have you figured out what city is home port for the SS Badger car ferry? During the spring, summer, and fall, this ship carries people and their cars or trucks across Lake Michigan. Its home port is in the Eastern Time Zone, and the city's name has 3 syllables. Is it Ludington, Michigan, Holland, Michigan, or Racine, Wisconsin? If you said Ludington, you are right. This car ferry is an important part of Great Lakes transportation. And when the SS Badger is in Ludington, everything is ship-shape.
Remember, this show's about you, and that's who we want to hear from.
So drop us a line. Our address is Get Real, 821 University Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin, 53706. Or send us email to getreal!@bylis.uwex.edu. Or visit our homepage on the World Wide Web. Gotta buzz on out of here.
Always remember, gotta get real.
Maybe you can try something like this at home.
Right now, let's go to Verona, Wisconsin. I've skipped about 3 lines. Let's start over.
Yeah, we met a kid who loves hockey, but he doesn't play it. But I just messed up, but that's okay.
Whoa, I'm fat.
And this is a special effect.
And this, and this, and this.
Get Real is made for kids by the people at Wisconsin Public Television and the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Major funding for Get Real is provided by the National Science Foundation, supporting education and research in science, mathematics, and technology, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television. With special thanks to this station, supporting excellence in children's programming.
Next time, hit the ice and see what it's like to call the shots. Get in the game! Groove with a girl who can make these strings sing. Then, check out this boy's fancy feathered friends.
I gotcha.
And find out what farming fun these kids are having.
It's cranberries!
Plus, some creature-eating plants. Don't miss Get Real. Next time, groove with the girl who can make these strings really sing.
Time out!
Then, hit the ice and see what it's like to call the shots.
Get in the game!
Don't miss Get Real.